Welcome to another RSR. Tonight we are reviewing Toronto FC 0, St. Louis City SC 1 in MLS 2023 Week 23. One more match before the League's Cup break and the All-Star break. Of course, we don't have any players in the All-Star game, so that's good for us because they can't get hurt. With that being said, or the Skills Challenge, with that being said, sadly Richie wasn't there, but I guess since he's not on loan, technically, he couldn't make it. With that being said, Toronto FC, they'll play 2 Leagues Cup games after their Chicago match. And after the All-Star break, I don't know if they'll play more than 2 because they're just looking absolutely... Okay, I can't be that way. They're not looking like absolute crap because they played pretty well today. That's the sad part. They fell asleep for 30 seconds and allowed St. Louis to score when they least expected it, to be honest. And they couldn't score from there. Toronto couldn't score. Halftime, 0-0. Toronto had a good couple of chances in the first half. St. Louis had a chance or two, but Toronto looked like the better team. They pushed the ball forward. They played the ball in. They looked like a very good side on the night. And I thought, oh, they could win this game. They could push on and win this game. Sadly enough, they did not. 5 minutes after the start of the second half, Ozan Jackson scores his first MLS goal, nutmegging Shane O'Neill. He's open space. Shane O'Neill gets in there. 2 defenders get in there. Shane O'Neill gets nutmegged. It gets past Tomas Romero, who makes his debut for TFC, his starting debut, or just debut in general, today. Tomas Romero gives up that goal. Wasn't really his fault, unlike Greg Ranjitsing's. 60-70% of goals allowed. But Ozan Jackson finds a way to score his first MLS goal, his second of the year, because he scored an Open Cup against Omaha. 1-0 St. Louis, and that's the way it would end. Toronto couldn't find an answer, whether it was to tie it up or win. They could not find an answer. They had a couple of chances in the second half as well, but they just couldn't find an answer. There was nothing there. Offensively, they were milquetoast. Defensively, I thought they played really well, and they did put the ball forward a good couple of times. I'm surprised this wasn't worse, so to speak. I'm surprised this game wasn't worse. I'm surprised because, to be honest, I thought Toronto played well. They just couldn't do enough. They just couldn't do enough, and that's the sad part. With that being said, stats, full-time stats, 13 shots to 17, 3 shots on goal to 6, 62% possession to 38% possession, 523 passes to 314, 81% pass accuracy to 71, 10 fouls to 14, 2 offside to 2, 1 yellow card to 2, 0 red cards to 0, 5 corners to 7. For me, man of the match is Ozan Jackson. He scored the winner. He worked it well, ran through well to get into a good position to score that goal. For me, that's man of the match because Toronto, defensively, they had some good players. I thought Coelho played well for a half. I thought Servania played well. I thought Mabuka played well. But again, Tomas Romero, I thought, had a good game. But you can't give a man of the match award to a TFC team who only really works on 2 portions of the game, two parts of the game. St. Louis looked a bit different tonight. St. Louis did not look like their normal selves. It seemed like they wanted a point. They came over to Toronto and said, we're playing an interconference matchup. We want a point. If we get 3, that'll be great. Because that always seems like the mentality. St. Louis didn't really press much. They did play the ball forward well. Roman Berkey had a good game. Defensively, I thought they played well. No Klaus and no Leuven as well, so that probably did help their mentality or what they wanted their mentality to be for this game. No Klaus or Leuven. But, again, they still found a way to get it done. St. Louis this season has always found ways to get things done. And, again, I know them like the back of my hand, just like I know Toronto. Okay? And St. Louis, I have to respect what they do under Bradley Carnell. They play a good system of football. They really do. Josh Yarrow steps up. Former Toronto FC trialist Josh Yarrow, by the way, steps up and basically says, hey, let's go. And he played a good game defensively, I thought, playing the Red Bull style. And we trialed him the year that, we tried to play the Red Bull style, or at least the less than half of a year we tried, and we didn't keep him. That's foolish. I'm not going to lie. But with St. Louis, it shows that he would have been just fine. Our luck, right? So that's a little bit of a tie-in there, if you wanted one. But Josh Yarrow played a good game. Tim Parker showing that he does not look his age. He's playing some good football for a long-term career guy, an older guy, so to speak. Roman Berkey, still, I think, honestly, if I'm being honest, goalkeeper of the year, at least in the conversation for St. Louis, of goalkeeper of the year. Top 3, but I think he's there, Roman Berkey. St. Louis just finds ways, and I am very interested in seeing how that goes for the rest of the season. Because, hey, at least they'll be in the playoffs, right? They play some good football, and they got good coaching. Toronto, on the other hand, again, I'm not surprised they lost. I'm not surprised. I have no surprise. I'm not angry. They only lost 1-0. They played a better game than I expected. Not enough forward play. But when you don't have the Italians, even if they've been playing crappy, because one's injured and one's suspended, you're pretty much up the creek without the paddle. I wish Jesus Batiste got more time. I thought he could have been better. I think DeAndre Kerr should have stayed on instead of Sapong when they brought on Jordan Perruzza. Io did go off for Batiste, which I was good with that. They kept on Kobe Franklin when they brought on Adam Perlman. I think taking off Mabica was pretty stupid, but all right, didn't really hurt us. I thought the subs were okay overall. I think I could have said something different, but the 5 subs and Tognalu coming on, there we go. I thought they could have made a difference. I think we were behind the 8 ball the whole time, and TFC played pretty well. And they're still mathematically possible to make the playoffs. I know that shouldn't be said. I know that doesn't matter to most people. But they still mathematically have a chance. So I'll always have a little bit of hope until we don't. Like the past 2 years. But again, let me say this. When it comes down to it, TFC were already behind the 8 ball. No Oso. 11 players out. No Oso. No Bernadeschi. No Insigne. No Richie. We don't know if he'll come back, but still. And they still played a damn good game, respectably. Or I should say, in the macro, they played a pretty good game. They lost, but they played a pretty good game in a macro situation. And you could say, yeah, but they still lost. But again, if you're behind the 8 ball already, and I'm not giving any excuses, at least to Dunfield or Bill Manning especially, the players may be. I thought the players showed some fight. But again, like that RSL game, it just went off the rails. At least not at the end, though, and it wasn't a goalkeeper error that caused it. But again, you look at the game, and it's like, okay, Toronto played decent overall while being behind the 8 ball. That's football. And St. Louis is top of their conference. That's football. I mean, overall, I'm a lot happier with this performance than I was on Tuesday, than arguably than I was against RSL. I'm not saying Dunfield should be the top manager. I'm not saying that... Well, I am saying we better be looking for a true manager before Leagues Cup starts, because this team, there could be something extracted from this team. There is fight. There is belief in that room slightly. I'm just not sure if it's enough. but they mathematically still have a chance to make the playoffs and sneak in. They do. So we go from there. Wasn't a bad game. St. Louis did what they normally do. Toronto had some fight. That's basically how I feel about this. I'm not angry. I'm not surprised. I'm just apathetic right now, at least for this time. Hopefully things are different at Leagues Cup, but we'll find out. With that being said, if you like this video, like it, share, subscribe. You know what it is. Tell your friends. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell notification once subscribed. Send super chats on the live streams. Comment on this video. Put this in playlists. Share with friends and family. All that great stuff. I shall see you tomorrow for a live watch along of both Guatemala versus Jamaica and USA versus Canada, and the review of United States versus Canada after that match when we have 4 teams left in Gold Cup contention. But I will see you. By the end of tonight, we'll have 6 teams left in Gold Cup contention. So we'll see if that's Mexico or Costa Rica that joins Panama as the teams who have passed through. We'll see. I'm Ryan and I'm out. Peace. See you later.